Once a crack appears in a material, it can spread easily as the stress is focused at the tip of a edge, a wedge-shaped crack, as you can see on the left photo. Of course, a crack appears when a force is applied to like a point um, onto the material, okay, and it will appear as wedge-shaped crack. As you can see on the left photo, the crack has moved quite a lot to the center of the material because it doesn't have any cushioning or any support to withstand the stress of the force applied. In a composite material like the bone, because we said the bone is embedded in this matrix that will resist the stress applied to. In a composite material like the bone, the crack stops when it reaches the interface with another layer of material of different properties. As you can see here, the bone is made of various layers, okay? So it can withstand whichever force or stress is applied to the bone. Otherwise, we will, as humans, we will not handle any type of force and we will live our life by the smallest, lightest chore and our whole body will break and fall into shambles because there is no cushioning if our bones were made as the diagram on the left. However, the various layers of the bone and the matrix that is embedded in will help the crack stops once it reaches another layer of material. However, if the force applied will once let's say this is the outside of the bone and it broke the first layer, like it couldn't withstand the force applied. This will stop when facing another layer of materials of different properties. If more force applied, the crack will increase, but it will interface with another more rigid layer and so on, of course. And that's why, or therefore, the bone of the human body is extremely rigid or durable. Question number 6. A load of 4.5 kilogram is attached to the end of a wire, 3 meters long of a diameter, and 0.46 millimeter and stretches it by 2.0 millimeter. Find the proportional or the constant, as you can see here. The constant E. To solve this question, we have to recall that force equals mass per area and equals 1.5 kilogram by 9.8 Newton. This value is the value of gravity. Now, why do we use the gravity form? Because it says a load of 1.5 kilogram is attached to the end of a wire. Okay, a wire, gravity affects every single object in the universe. So when we applied this load, whichever the weight was, the force of gravity will drag the wire down. In this question, we need to know the force applied. It's not directly applied to us what the force is, so we need to know the value of it. We have the mass, which is 1.5 kilogram. We need to multiply it by the gravitational value, which is 9.8. The proportional constant equals tensile stress over tensile strain, which equals force divided by area over extension per original divided by original length. By doing a cross deviation, the final form is force per original length divided by area by extension. So we need to take out the value of the force and multiply it by the original length, which is 3. We have this value, we put it to the side, and the area of the wire is a very thin rod shaped. Okay, so its area will know by using the circular area, which is pi multiplied by diameter squared, by radius squared. So we're going to multiply 0.46 by the value of pi, which is 3.14 squared. We're going to take this value, we're going to multiply it by the extension, which is 2.0. And we're going to know the constant or the proportional constant of this question. Till here, the lecture of Hooke's laws is finished. We're going to move on to the second option, which is the muscle or biomechanics of muscles. In this lecture, we're going to learn about skeletal muscle structure, the structure of a muscle fiber, the sarcomere, the sliding filament model, actin myosin crossroad cycle, strength, speed, and endurance. For a starter, when we as humans flexes our elbow, the action of flexing is done by the bicep brachii. Biceps and triceps work in antagonistic pair. When the bicep is contracted, the tricep is relaxed. Okay? Since we said that biceps and triceps work in an antagonistic pair, they will show the behavior of opposites. So once one is extracted or contracted, the other one is relaxed, extended. So we have here the bicep, which is the upper part, the upper muscle, is contracted. The tricep will be in a relaxed state, and vice versa. When the tricep is contracted, the bicep is in a relaxed state. The bicep is the muscle on the upper muscle, and the tricep is the lower. First, we're going to learn about muscle structure. Before we start, we have to learn some Greek prefixes, which is epi means above, peri means around, and endo means within. This is the bone. This is the spongy end or the foramen. This is the tendon. We're going to take a cross section from the tendon to see what it's made of. First, we have the outer layer or the covering layer called the epimysium. As we said before, epi means above. Okay, so it's the layer, the most above layer or the outside layer called the epimysium. This entire space, these parts, are called perimysia, which means the fibers within. Each part, this one, the red eye-shaped objects, as you can see here, is called a fascicle. We have blood vessels, of course. Now, let's imagine we're going to take one fascicle at a time. Each fascicle is wrapped by a perimesoome. Inside the perimesoome, or inside the fascicle, is endomysium. Between individual muscle fibers. Each of these bundles is called a muscle fiber. You can see here the histology of the part of muscle or a skeletal muscle in the cross section. Let's start from outside to inside. This is an endomysium, which is a cross section in the skeletal muscle. This white part is endomysium. This is a capillary. This tiny, small hole is a capillary. Each of these purple squares is a muscle cell. And this part is called an endomysium because, as we learned beforehand, endo means within. So this means within the muscle cells. This thicker white part is called a perimysium, which typically connects each part to each other. And the purple dots are the nucleus. Now, we're going to take each fiber and we're going to know the structure of it. You can see the transparent part is called sarcolemma. Sarcolemma is this transparent membrane, or it's also called the muscle plasma membrane. These red parts is called the mitochondria. Each muscle fiber consists of a bundle of myofibrils. The purple part, the purple dot, is a nucleus. As you can see here, this is a light band, light I band, and this is a dark A band. As you can see here, we have the cutaway part of the muscle fiber. We said that each muscle fiber consists of fibrils, myofibrils. Of course, the dark bands and light bands, we're going to come across that later on. It speaks about where the actin and myosin reside. But for now, let's talk about this. Now, we're going to take a further explanation on the cutaway part of the muscle fiber. Of course, we have a nucleus. We have a nucleus. The yellow tubes, the yellow parts, as you can see here, they are called T-tubules. They are tubules, they're tiny tubules, and they are called T-tubules. The blue part is called sarcoplasmic reticulum. As we mentioned before, sarcolemma means the plasma membrane surrounding the muscle fiber. So when you say a sarcoplasmic reticulum, it means a connective network of sarcoplasmic form, and this is a sacroilium. These parts, of course, are the mitochondria, which are the powerhouse of the cell. We're going to take a part of the myofibril. Myofibril consists of thin filaments